que es el director. Desde un largo viaje en tierras lejanas está con nosotros también Scott Jeffrey, que es el productor. Y ellos dos es súper importante que sepan que son como el combo maravilloso, ¿no? Es como el combo perfecto. Nicolai León, que ya lo van a ver, es Christopher Robin. También Amber, Alice, Daniel Roland, es Zoe. Además están encantados porque ayer se fueron a las pirámides, entonces también les pueden hacer preguntas sobre qué les ha parecido en México. Viene con nosotros también María Taylor, Natasha Tosini, es Lara. Andrew Scott, que él es el compositor musical. Muy bien, párese por favor. Say hi, like a ballerina. And Vincent Knight, director de fotografía. Y bueno, desde este largo viaje, ¿no?, que han emprendido a nuestras tierras mexicanas, y felices además por estar aquí con nosotros. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for this creepy movie. Terror movie. And a ver, chicos, ¿quién quiere comenzar con la primera pregunta? Tenemos por ahí manitas levantadas y les van a llevar ahora el micrófono.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buen día, bienvenidos a México. Yo quiero saber qué tan difícil fue hacer el papel de oso y si conociste la vida de los osos.
Okay, she wants to know how difficult was the doing and representing the character of the bear, of Winnie the Pooh, and if you study the life of the bears for that.
Well done. You know, I didn't study the life of bears, let's say. I took some inspiration from like horror icons like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, but at the same time I wanted to put my own stamp on it. So I kind of like blended different bits and pieces and yeah, just tried to make Pooh as menacing and terrifying as possible.
Bueno, que sí los estudió y que pues trató de hacerlo para parecer lo más terrorífico posible. Por allá, ¿qué otra pregunta tenemos? Por acá está el micrófono, si se lo puede pasar, por favor.
Hello guys, my name is Eric Gallardo and I wanna ask you how difficult is to make movie horrors, because it's a complicated about many things, but we are original in these movies is difficult too. How difficult is?
Hello. Oh. So these two guys are Jagged Edge Productions, and they make like more than 30 films every year. Always horror movies. They are just absolute horror fanatics themselves, and I think that they're just made to make horror movies, you know. So I think everything is down to these guys. They're the geniuses, and it's just, yeah, making horror movies is in their blood. So you guys want to say anything?
Yeah, it was with this one in particular. It was actually a bit difficult at points, just because we kind of wanted to introduce like horror into it and like make Winnie the Pooh actually scary, and you have to really be careful around how you like light him. Do you do like when you've got scenes during the day, you've got a lot of like motion blur to hide away from like some of the details of the character, because you can kind of see him there. He can look a little bit goofy, so we had to be really careful.
But also, we have Stuart and Nicole, who I absolutely love, and they gave us this opportunity, and they're in the audience here. So yeah, they're hugely backing us and this whole production. And actually, it was randomly, Stuart just randomly messaged us on WhatsApp one day, because we brainstormed a lot of ideas with Stuart and Nicole in emails and WhatsApp and all that kind of stuff, and he said, you know, Winnie's going in the public domain soon, what do you think? And then we were like, yeah. So thank you guys for the opportunity.
And I think that it's just, it's maybe not difficult, but some, you know, it's fun. I could tell, like, when I was watching the rough cut and hearing you all laugh behind the camera, that everybody on this stage had a really fun time making this movie. And when you have fun making movies, it feels fresh, it feels new, it feels exciting. So I think that's the key. It's fun, right? Yeah.
Tenemos más preguntas por acá. Sí.
Hola chicos.
One was to take him down a bit of like a Chucky route. So, you know, everyone kind of imagines him to be like 3 foot or 2 foot, and we were thinking, you know, we could go down there and make him small with a knife running around. But we thought, you know, that's going to be a lot of VFX. He won't be in the film a lot, and you kind of do, if you go to see a Winnie the Pooh film, you want to see a lot of Winnie the Pooh. So we went down the other direction and made him really, really big and menacing. So Craig fit it really well, because he's very big and menacing. And then we had to be super careful of just how we were shooting it, because you can kind of see with the mask points, we just wanted to make sure there was a bit of like a black void in his eyes, just to make him look a bit lifeless, and Vince did super well lighting-wise to enable that.
Well, Craig, I think you're big and huggable. I don't think you're menacing.
He's menacing, yeah.
Rápidamente, bueno, teníamos varias vías de hacer eso. Uno era de dejarlo chiquito, el Winnie Pooh que conocemos, y que fuera un tipo Chucky, que fuera corriendo por ahí con un cuchillo matando a todos, pero también eso va a necesitar muchísimos más efectos especiales. Entonces, por otro lado, teníamos que considerar el tiempo que veríamos a Winnie en pantalla, y queríamos que fuera mucho, terminan siendo creo que unos 40 minutos, y bueno, queríamos que fuera más grande y amenazador. Y por otro lado vamos a ir un poco a la filmación y ver cómo va a salir en cámara. Queremos que sus ojos sean como un gran vacío negro, y bueno, es el resultado que tenemos.
Y se logró, ¿no? Vean. Y al rato que vean la película van a soñar con este Winnie Pooh. ¿Más preguntas por ahí?
Sí.
Hi guys, first of all, welcome to Mexico. A little background, we haven't seen the movie yet. So, I want to ask personally for all of you, how do you feel about being the next horror movie that probably parents use to scare their children? And other questions for the director. I know that production team always do a little storyboards. I want to know if they look at something like this, your storyboards.
Yes, so with Winnie the Pooh, the thing is, if you don't like horror, you've got your little Winnie the Pooh thing over there, and you can watch that all day, all night long. But for people like myself and Reese who love horror, now you've got this, and it ain't gonna stop here. In the sequel, you're gonna get 5 times the gore, 5 times the deaths. We want to kill about 100 people in the sequel, so it's gonna get worse. And next up is Bambi. So yeah, we're gonna make some really cool decisions with that. It's got a really cool twist ending. So yeah.
And with yours, with the second question, so we had to be super careful because with Winnie the Pooh, the only version which is in the public domain is the 1926 book by A. Milner. So when I was kind of like directing the story and how I wanted him to look and his mannerisms and how he interacts with certain things, I had to kind of completely forget about everything which has happened from Winnie the Pooh from 1926 to present day. So I wasn't allowed to kind of go anywhere near the Disney one. So that's why he doesn't have like a little red shirt, why he's got pants on. Which you're glad about that, Craig. And yeah, just base it on what was in the 1926 version. And in that version, you still got a lot of the characters in there, like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and Owl, and he still has like a love of honey, and he has like interaction with bees as well. So we tried to put in as many of those elements as we can into the film which you guys are gonna watch tonight.
Esta noche, muy bien. Aquí el director de musical habla muy bien español. Vamos a darles un poquito de esta respuesta.
Rápidamente, bueno, tenemos ya, para los que aman el Winnie Pooh clásico, tienen su Winnie Pooh clásico, se pueden quedar con ese. A los que aman el horror tienen ahora a este Winnie Pooh para disfrutarlo. Y vamos a ver después una secuela en la que vamos a tener 5 veces la sangre, 5 veces el gore, y estamos apuntando a unos 100 muertos. Entonces, eso es lo que viene. También vendrá más adelante Bambi, así que son esas las cosas que pueden esperar. Ahora, en cuanto al personaje Winnie Pooh, necesitamos ser muy cuidadosos con eso, porque viene a partir de que Winnie Pooh, pero el de 1926, el personaje de A.A. Milne, ya entra en dominio público. Nos teníamos que alejar mucho del Winnie Pooh de la versión de Disney. Tenemos que basarnos en el original, manteniendo sus manerismos, por eso lo ven un poco diferente. Tenemos de ahí la versión de 1926, los personajes que vienen en esa versión, y por eso van a ver a Winnie Pooh, que no trae la playera roja y que sí trae pantalones, afortunadamente. Y también pues los personajes que vienen, pero todo está basado en esa versión.
Más preguntas por ahí.
Hi guys, my name is Arturo Tobar from Ubix here in the center. I also heard that you're planning something with Peter Pan, or is it just how is it the process of making these lovable characters into horror icons? And for the cast, is it hard to explain to anyone like your family, like when I'm the horror movie and who's chasing you? Jason? No, Winnie Pooh. How was it?
So we have to make sure with the new ideas we want to come up with, because we want to create a bit of a universe here, where we're kind of adapting innocent characters into monsters. But it doesn't work with all of them. There's loads of different IPs out there. You know, you could do like Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, but they haven't got the same kind of like kick or the same kind of like X factor as some of these ones we've picked. So, you know, Winnie the Pooh's gone mad, Bambi started to go mad as well. Peter Pan, we're kind of on edge with. Like, we think it has potential, but it's taking a back seat to Bambi at the moment, because that's been like the one that people responded to the most.
Also with that, it's like, if we feel like we can genuinely make a really good film with Peter Pan, we will do it. We're kind of brainstorming, but if it doesn't come together and like our partners at ITN don't feel like it's going to be what people are going to love, we won't do it. Like, we want to make really good films here, so that's another thing as well.
Yeah, that's it. And then there was a past question, I think.
Hi. So for me personally, when I told my family what I was doing, they were like, I'm sorry, what? But yeah, I kind of explained that it was absolutely nothing to do with the beloved Disney version that everybody knows and loves, and they were kind of on board with that, and I was completely on board because I'm a horror fan myself. So yeah, that was fine for me. I do have an 8-year-old nephew though, who is so excited for his auntie. So when I've shown him the trailer in the past, I've had to hide from him any scary bits. So anything nice, I'm like, you can look. And then I'm like, no, none of that. So I've had to be really selective with, like, obviously with children and stuff, because it's not for children. But yeah, other than that, it's been great, yeah.
Definitivamente no es una película.
Tenemos que tener el proyecto más desarrollado, y si sentimos que sí va a pegar, que sí va a tener ese efecto, igual nuestros socios de ITN, si dicen que sí, pues seguiremos adelante. El chiste es que queremos hacer películas excelentes. Luego María nos dice que también cuando le presentaron el proyecto se quedó así de ¿que quién le va a matar? ¿Perdóname, qué? Y finalmente ella también es un fan de las películas del horror, de género, pero tengan en mente nuevamente que no es una película para niños. O sea, ella, su sobrino de 8 años se enteró de lo que estaba haciendo y así de emoción total, pero ok, puedes ver esta foto, pero esta no. Esta sí, pero esta no. Entonces, no es para niños.
No es para niños definitivamente, y la verdad es que entre los niños precisamente está causando mucha conmoción.
So, I feel like when I told my mom, and first obviously I was like, I'm doing this horror movie and it's with Winnie the Pooh, and she was like, oh, is it a comedy? And I was like, no, it's actually a horror. I've read the script and it's very, very not sure. It's definitely not a comedy, it's definitely a horror. My dad says he's not going to watch it. Yeah, he says he'll watch it, but he says he's not going to watch my serious scenes or any scenes where I'm in a bikini, obviously. That scene went quite viral and he's seen it before I told him about it and he was like, hang on a minute, is that you? I was like, yeah, and he was like, what are you doing on the floor? I was like, well, actually, that's a funny thing. But yeah, no, everyone, all my family have been super supportive of it and they're all excited to watch it except for my dad.
Bueno, pues un poquito que nos cuenta esta experiencia, ¿no?
Obviamente le platico a su mamá lo que iba a hacer, le dio el guión y todo, y su mamá le preguntó incluso si era una comedia, así de no, es una película de terror. Su papá definitivamente no va a ver la película, o al menos no va a ver las películas en las que salga en bikini. Y en general, la familia creo que los ha apoyado mucho a todos, pero sí hay ciertas escenas más cautelosas.
Claro, y además la de ella es una de las escenas pues más explícitas, entonces me imagino que su familia tampoco quiere verla. Y bueno, mucho sobre los efectos especiales. Yo veía aquí en mi lista que justo me faltó presentar a Daniel Scott. Si le pueden dar un aplauso también, por favor, a Daniel, porque we're talking about the special effects y en la película de verdad es irreconocible cómo queda con estos efectos especiales, sobre todo contemplando que ellos pertenecen a una empresa que se dedica a hacer muchísimas películas de terror y que esta la hicieron en tan poquitos días, creo que fueron 10 nada más. ¿Cómo andamos de preguntas por allá? Levanten mano. ¿El micrófono?
Acá. Bueno, mi pregunta es, primero cuando salió el primer tráiler de Winnie the Pooh, hubo muchísima gente que empezó a hacer como escándalo en redes sociales sobre cómo lucía el personaje, ¿no? Que ahora de ver un personaje tan entrañable como Winnie the Pooh, lo vio en su etapa de terror. Bueno, la pregunta es para el director. ¿Qué le dirías a esta gente para que se anime a ver esta versión que es totalmente diferente a lo que conocemos?
Okay, to the director, what do you tell to the people that is afraid to see this new chapter of Winnie Pooh and that is very difficult to them to imagine that Winnie Pooh, this super cute character, is going to be now like this?
So I think that's what makes it so fun, is like you don't expect it. Like everyone who's heard about it before we were making the film and afterwards just can't imagine him being scary. And yeah, in terms of when you watch it, it's not just dead, serious horror and gore. There are like funner, lighter moments in there. Like he loves honey, so there's scenes where he's literally just gorging on honey. So it's not too scary, but there is still a lot of horror in there.
Rápidamente, o sea, es una película divertida. Digo, hay mucha gente obviamente que no se lo espera, hay gente que no se imagina cómo podría ser esto posible, pero no es solamente sangre y matanza y gore, o sea, hay escenas también más ligeras. Por ejemplo, Winnie Pooh ama la miel, lo sabemos, entonces hay escenas en las que se está atascando de miel, o sea, tiene cosas más cómicas, más livianas.
Incluso hay una parte donde Winnie Pooh como que llora y llora miel por sus lagrimitas. Por aquí tenemos más preguntas. A ver, si quieres hablar, igual ahorita les subo.
Bueno, ya.
Ay, qué vocerrón.
Hi, congrats for the movie. Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo desarrollar personajes que hoy en día tienen ventajas tecnológicas como celulares o algo para enfrentar a un slasher, a un personaje slasher, y que en el pasado, los clásicos de los 80, no pueden enfrentar a Jason o a Freddy porque no tenían un celular? ¿Cómo hacer esto? ¿Cómo lograr esa ventaja hoy? ¿O no la tienen? ¿O no aparece en la película?
Thank you. How do you develop this character without the technology? Because in the older movies like Jason and others, they didn't want to do it because of the technology. And how did you develop this character without that kind of technology? All right? Más o menos? Tú dale.
Do you mean, as in, mobile phones being able to link?
So we had a moment in the, I know what you mean, it's like we had a moment in the film where the stakes really rise, where one of the characters is kind of like taken from the property and just like kidnapped in a way. And that creates this kind of like sense of urgency, and they kind of run to go and help her and make sure she doesn't get, you know, lost. And in that process is when the kind of mobile phone element gets left at the house.
Also, Reese was really clever because when he was writing the script, obviously every time you watch a horror film you go, why don't you call the police? And he just nipped it in the arse at the beginning, because what he did was, he had one of the characters, it was the nerdy character, she just says, we're not having phones this weekend, put them in a box, and then the girls lose them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a bit of a, like they're going on a rural retreat, and they kind of wanted to disconnect from like the city world and, you know, constantly on Instagram and social media. So they had a small scene in there where one of the characters just takes everyone's mobile phones. So.
Por ejemplo, en la que uno de los personajes desaparece, prácticamente es raptada, y es cuando podrían usar el celular. Pero aquí se maneja de, bueno, el celular se quedó en la casa. Finalmente están en un viaje de campo, de desconexión, cero Instagram, cero redes, cero lo que sea. Y hay una escena en la que una de ellas agarra, ok, no hay celulares este fin de semana, entonces ya no los pueden usar.
¿Quedó resuelta? Sí. Vamos contigo.
Hello there. Congratulations for this movie. You talk about there are a lot of good comments about this movie, but in social media there were a lot of bad comments about that. So how did you deal with this? What this kind of comments did make you change your mind or something? And a second question: why did you want to get this movie in Mexico?
So, we actually get a lot of hate. So, Reese is the main person for that. So, his Instagram on a daily basis is saying, I hate you, go kill yourself, etc, etc, etc. I get a little bit of it, I'm sure everyone else gets a little bit of it, but you just either ignore it, or you're like Reese and you wind them up. And he actually replies to these people, and he says, they'll say, I hope it hasn't got like someone getting their heads chopped off, and he goes, not in this one, but that's actually a good idea for the sequel. So he's really naughty, but you just got to kind of like take it and believe it, like whatever. If they, you know, to them it doesn't have to exist as a movie. They're making it exist by looking into it. Just leave us alone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the hate's made it really, really popular and really controversial. So. And the second question. What was the second question again?
Why did you want to
bring it up? Yeah. So when this started to go really viral, Mexico and Latin America was like, you guys have embraced it so much and you all absolutely love it, that that was one of the decisions why we decided to do the world premiere with you guys, just because, you know, everyone's so nice, we get so many comments, so many fans, and yeah, and the festival leaders have been so like accommodating with us that we just thought it'd be a good idea to come here with all of you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Rapidísimo, obviamente la pregunta de redes sociales, el que más odio ha recibido es Luis. Así, todo su Instagram es te odio, mátate, ¿qué estás haciendo? Es terrible, pero él les da pena y les contesta. Entonces, aparte de eso, le da muchísima publicidad a la película y lo ha hecho muy popular. La segunda pregunta es, finalmente, cuando se hizo viral, la respuesta de México y de Latinoamérica en general fue espectacular. Se recibió muchísima emoción, cariño, y además el equipo local los ha tratado muy bien. Por eso están aquí.
De hecho, hasta dicen que si pudieran alargarían su viaje y se quedaban acá más tiempo porque están encantados en México. Pero bueno, Andrew Scott Bell.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say, for every one person that's outraged, there seems to be two people excited about it, and we made this movie for them, and you know, for people who love horror movies. You know, people being offended by horror movies is nothing new, and so we made it for the horror fans, for sure.
La película obviamente es para los fans del horror. Por cada persona que se ofenda, que siempre va a haber gente ofendida, hay dos que les va a encantar esta película y que ya la quieren ver. Así que esto es para los fans.
Por allá preguntas también. Gracias.
Hi, my name is Eugene Navarro from Pólvora Rock. I want to ask this question to the four actresses of the movie. Well, there's the importance of your roles because you are like the ones that are always persecuted by Pooh and his friends. So, what do you think about the role of the Scream Queen, of the Scream Girls that have evolved since the 80s, since the slashers began? And what were your influences to make your roles as the Scream Girls here, persecuted by Winnie the Pooh?
I like them sort of roles, to be fair. I'm kind of like, I'm a bit of a wimp, so I do get scared of stuff quite easily. I get frightened really easily. If someone jumped behind me, I would scream. So watching horror movies is quite scary. Being involved in them is quite scary, so I feel like being a Scream Queen is just like part of my nature. Yeah, it's literally just me. I feel like I didn't even play a role, I just did what I would have done naturally anyway. I was really scared anyway doing it, so I feel like it's just natural, you know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. And it was like, we were kind of just reacting to exactly what was in front of us, how we would really react in that kind of scenario. I mean, you've got a Pooh Bear that's 6 foot tall running after you in the woods, like, you're going to be scared, aren't you? I think there was an occasion when we were filming, and it was myself and Natasha Rose Mills, who's not here today, and we were running on through the woods and they were filming us, and they were going, cut, cut, and we just kept going, didn't we? We were so scared, like it was so real to us. So yeah, I was screaming then as well, so kind of just comes with the territory.
It's always just more exciting, isn't it, having those kind of roles? More fun, more gore, it's just more exciting, more to get your teeth into.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think most of the films that I've done are horror films, and I'm like the biggest fan of the genre, so it's always really exciting. And I kind of love the Scream Queen role, because I feel like they're quite powerful. Like, I just love the thought. In horror films, normally the guys kind of get killed off first and then the women survive, and I'm like, woo, feminism. So I really like that, and I feel like all the characters in this film are really strong. Like, they all have their strengths and their weaknesses, and they all kind of represent something different. But I feel like you'll see a lot of similarities in the characters with other Scream Queens that you've seen in different films in the past, which is really cool.
Until you've been in the middle of the night in a forest covered in absolute blood, you can't see anything. You've got the most amazing special effects makeup. Props to Rebecca Wheeler, who did such a fantastic job on this movie. Yeah, it's so much fun. Even though at the time you're so cold, you can't feel anything, you can't see, you've got blood in your eyes. I've done so many films with these guys now, and it's almost having fun, like someone else mentioned. It really is. You'll see it. It's such a good time.
It's always fun.
It's fun. It's hilarious. Yeah. You'll probably see some little bloopers going around the internet soon as well, so watch out for those. They're funny.
Bueno, pues al parecer la pasaron muy bien con esta pregunta. Vamos a hacerles un poquito la traducción, fueron muchas, pero un poquito en español para que todos lo tengamos.
En resumen, a todas les encantó ser Scream Queens, se la pasaron muy bien, es mucho más emocionante. Acá, por ejemplo, también dice que ella de por sí se asusta de todo, entonces en realidad varias de ellas no estaban actuando tanto. Si te encuentras a un Winnie Pooh de 1,80 en el bosque a medianoche, también vas a salir corriendo. Y hay una anécdota incluso en que seguían ya gritando corte, corte, y ellas seguían corriendo por el bosque. Pero igual, o sea, es una experiencia de estar cubiertas en sangre, de así los ojos cubiertos, pero finalmente es muy divertido. Ser Scream Queen es la mejor parte, es lo más emocionante.
Exacto, y bueno, aquí también le dieron las gracias a la persona que hizo parte de los efectos especiales, que está por ahí atrás. Y bueno, recordarles que además todo esto sí realmente se grabó en el bosque de los 100 acres, que es el bosque que salía en los libros de Winnie Pooh, y que precisamente se fueron a ese lugar que tiene una magia impresionante y que nos puede llevar pues a esos rincones tan terroríficos en los que pues logran retratarlo en la película. Por ahí tenemos más preguntas, sí, ¿verdad? Okay.
This one is for the directors and the producers. Small horror films have a hard time getting distribution even in their own countries, and this one is having the world premiere in a foreign country. How do you feel about that? Because not many filmmakers can say that their film was viral enough to get a world premiere somewhere else, no? And well, how do you feel about it being here in Mexico?
So we're incredibly lucky for this opportunity, and it is incredible. We've made over 100 films, so like this is the first one to actually truly have this type of moment. So we're really, really grateful. And our partners at ITN, they've been like incredibly supportive along like my personal whole journey, and they've been there from day one. And now like developing this and stuff, like just couldn't be more thankful. But yeah, I think we're just incredibly excited about it. And a fun little thing, when we found out it went viral, it was 4 o'clock in the morning in the UK, and I woke up to go to the toilet, and I was just scrolling on my phone, and I just see Winnie the Pooh going nuts, and I was like, what the hell? And I woke Reese up and I was like, look at this, and he was like, oh! And then we started sending it to Nicole and Stuart, and then it was just at ITN, and it was just an incredible journey, and it's just, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and then like as soon as it started to go viral, we had so many like interview requests coming in. Like yeah, I had quite a few. No one else was like could believe it either. We had like a group chat with all of us, and everyone's just spamming links from like Variety and like all these big news companies, and it's just absolutely blown up. And I'm sure all you guys have had your inbox just littered with messages now as well.
Obviamente, totalmente afortunados, hemos hecho más de 100 películas y esta es la primera vez que tenemos este tipo de respuesta y de experiencia. Nuestros socios ITM nos han dado todo el apoyo desde el día 1 y además estamos muy agradecidos. Una pequeña anécdota de cuando se enteraron que se había vuelto viral, Scott se había parado al baño a las 4 de la mañana y agarró el teléfono y empezó a ver que ya había explotado todo. Y fue a despertar a Reese a esa hora, así de, Reese, ¿qué pasó? Y tú le enseñas, se volvió loco, grito de emoción. Y ha sido además increíble la respuesta, han tenido miles de solicitudes de entrevistas en su group chat de WhatsApp, bueno, de Variety, son 200 links y todos tienen el inbox a reventar con solicitudes.
Muchas gracias. Tenemos más preguntas. Algo que es súper importante de las películas de terror también es la música, ¿no? O sea, no se ven igual si no tenemos esa música que nos va introduciendo a cada una de las escenas. Así que yo quisiera preguntarte a ti acerca de la música. What about the music? Tell us about some characteristics and things that I know that you do for this special movie.
Well, the composer comes on to the film like near the end. They've already finished shooting. They're all the best of friends. So first I just want to say, this group of people who all work together and have worked together many times, they've welcomed me into their family and I love them. There's a saying here, so if you guys come to LA, mi cama es su cama. Oh, mi casa, lo siento. Oh, cama. Es muy generosa, ¿sí? I think I said that. Lo siento. That's my wife. Lo siento. The music. So when I first joined to write the music, I remembered an article that I had read about somebody who put a violin inside of a beehive. And I reached out to that person and he said, oh yeah, I forgot that I did that. Do you want to use it? So we used what I call the beehive-a-lin on the soundtrack, and it really sounds different, doesn't it, Reese? It sounds like bees buzzing or something.
Yeah, it's so unique. Yeah. It's a really good idea.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'll just say that nobody ever said no. Everybody always said, let's hear it. And I love that energy in a movie. We just all wanted to have fun.
Okay, antes que nada, bueno, el compositor siempre llega al final de la producción y en este caso ya todos eran amigos, todos se amaban, pero le dieron la bienvenida con brazos abiertos y bueno, Andrew ya los invitó todos a su cama y a su casa. Y sobre la música en especial, se acordó de que en algún momento leyó un artículo sobre una persona que metió un violín en un panal de abejas. Entonces contactó a esta persona y ya hasta se le había olvidado lo que había hecho. Así de, ¿sí lo quieres? Entonces fue a ver a la persona, recuperó, sacaron el violín después de 2 años de estar en el panal, estaba lleno de miel y tiene un sonido muy particular que incluso suena al zumbido de las abejas, o sea, ya lo verán. Y otra cosa muy padre de este equipo es que a todo le dijeron que sí, esa era la energía de la película, nunca hubo un, bueno, no, sí, vamos a oír.
A ver, tenemos otra pregunta por aquí en medio.
Welcome to Mexico, and mi casa es su casa. I want to know if any one of us can share with us some blooper during the film.
Yeah, there was one that really sticks out, and I kind of wanted Winnie the Pooh to go past the door and be really kind of intimidating and scary, and you know, all the girls like did an amazing job, like they were looking really, really horrified. And then when we went to do the reverse and we wanted Winnie to walk past the door, Craig jogged past and we all just like bursting out laughing.
Yeah, he honestly looked really cute. And we were like, oh.
I was like, that's not what I wanted. And then we had to kind of slow it down, didn't we? And then it turned out well. And I don't want to fell over.
Oh, I was just going to say, there was one. Is this on? Yes. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning, and it was coming towards the end of a filming day, and it was myself, Maria, and Natasha Mills. And we were kind of walking down this hill, and I don't know what happened, but somehow we all just stacked it and like fell over, but we just toppled like dominoes. But we couldn't stop laughing, like we just had the longest day, but we were having so much fun. But I've seen the footage and it looks hilarious.
You all did it in slow-mo, didn't you? You were kind of like slowly falling, and everyone was just watching.
One went down, and the next, and the next.
I like to think we styled it out.
Hay dos en particular que les van a compartir. Uno es primero cuando aparece Winnie Pooh en la puerta y tenía que ser súper aterrador, entonces lo hicieron 2 veces. Primero pasa y todas gritaron de miedo y luego pasa otra vez en sentido contrario y se atacan de la risa, ¿sí? Porque se veía muy lindo al parecer. Entonces lo tuvieron que volver a grabar. Y la otra anécdota es ya eran las 3 de la mañana, estaban terminando el día de grabación, iban ellas 3 corriendo por una pequeña colina y se cayeron como dominos, así, hasta en cámara lenta.
Tenemos más preguntas para acá. Nos quedan 5 preguntas más o menos. Por acá hay preguntas. Acuérdense que de cualquier manera pueden regresar a las 5:30 al red carpet porque ahí también pueden sacar más información. A ver, por allá, compañero, compañera. Perfecto. Ahorita prenden el micrófono, tienen otro por allá. Muchas gracias, qué compartido. Ya.
Bueno, ya me dieron este. Bueno, hola, bienvenidos a México. Y mi pregunta sería para el director. De los personajes de Winnie Pooh que van a aparecer aparte de Pooh y Tigre, ¿por qué Tigre no va a aparecer si se supone que él es un tigre y es un depredador? ¿Por qué no aparece?
Right, so in addition to Winnie and Piglet, why aren't we seeing other characters like Tigger, who's a tiger and he's a predator?
So we're not allowed to use Tigger yet. So in the 1926 book, which is all we're allowed to draw inspiration from, the only characters in that were the more kind of, it was like Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Owl, Roo, Eeyore. We didn't want to have too many in one film, just because it would be like a boy band, just all going to kill a group of people. So you can imagine like 6 people. So we thought we'd keep it a bit more contained. However, soon Tigger will be in the public domain, and then he will be featuring in the film.
And in the sequel, giving you a little like taster, do expect other characters to be making an appearance.
Para empezar, Tigger todavía no es del dominio público. Entonces, en la versión de 1926 salen Winnie, Piglet, el búho, Igor y me parece que el canguro. Entonces, si los metían a todos, iban a ser como 9 asesinos, se iba a acabar muy rápido la película. Entonces, ahora hay que esperar, número 1, a que Tiger sea parte del dominio público, que no falta mucho, y en la secuela van a ver a otros personajes, incluso un pequeño adelanto, van a ver personajes que no son exclusivamente de Winnie Pooh.
En el multiuniverso de Winnie Pooh, para que esperen la segunda parte. Oye, I want to ask Craig about the mask, how hard it was to act with that, how many hours did you need to put it on. Le estoy preguntando un poquito acerca de la máscara de Winnie, porque ahora que la vean se van a quedar impactados de verdad. Pues ¿cuánto tiempo la tenía que tener puesta y qué tan difícil fue?
Yeah, I did have certain challenges with the mask, sight, because sometimes I'll be running along, the mask would slip over my eyes, I'm totally blind. Hearing was a bit of a issue as well. I had to have someone relay instructions because very, very tight fit.
Yeah, you basically had no senses.
Yeah, basically no senses. Yeah, sight, sound, breathing, all shot. So yeah, there was a few barriers with that, but.
And while you're doing that, you've sometimes got a knife. I don't know if sometimes it was real, and like people like Amber and Nikolai's throats. So
yeah,
it wasn't real. It wasn't real.
I overcome one of the challenges with it slipping down over my eyes. I wore a hat underneath to build up a bit of a barrier, because then I knew it wasn't going to slip down. So that worked, but it made it twice as hot under there.
Si nos cuentan un poquito esta anécdota en la que hay una escena en la que parece real, porque como la máscara le queda grande y no ve muy bien, trae un cuchillo y está persiguiendo al pobre de Nicolás.
Y bueno, uno de los retos principales es que la máscara, aparte de que era muy apretada, sí le corta todos los sentidos al mundo exterior, pero que se le resbalaba. Entonces terminaba tapándole los ojos, no veía nada. Y una de las soluciones que se le ocurrió fue ponerse un sombrero, un gorro abajo de la máscara, pero entonces ya hacía el doble de calor.
Exacto, y dejaba de ver. Por ahí tenemos más preguntas. Por acá. Sí, me hacen el favor de acercarse al micrófono. Gracias.
Hi again. So I was talking about earlier with some of the girls about how Winnie the Pooh is a worldwide icon, but it's also like very specific to the UK. And I was telling them about a little joke about, oh, maybe this Winnie the Pooh, maybe once it gets to the public domain, you can have him like do a crossover with a Killer Paddington, or it could also like this one's more for the cast, because I feel it's really fun. Like next time you take like a vacation or a holiday to Disney World, is it gonna be weird looking at the Winnie the Pooh characters for you guys now?
I mean, I see Winnie the Pooh stuff everywhere, and I feel like I just have to have a picture of everything. Does anyone else do that? When I see Winnie the Pooh things everywhere in the UK, and I've never really noticed it before, but it stands out all of a sudden. But no, it's still a cute fluffy bear, and this is quite different. I don't really associate the two, but yeah, everything I see I'm like, little picture. How about you?
Yeah, same here. So I see them completely different to each other. Obviously, you've got the cute cuddling one, which is like my childhood and many people's childhood. And then we have the really big, scary one in this film. So they are completely different. But yeah, they're both great in their own right, really. Yeah.
I've got a 3-year-old little girl, and obviously she's not going to watch the film, but she has seen the trailer, reluctantly. And she recognises the two differences, like she's got good Winnie Pooh and bad Winnie Pooh. She knows like the differences. She likes both of them, which is strange. And she enjoys watching the trailer. Obviously she won't watch the movie, but yeah, they're completely different. Everyone sends me Winnie the Pooh stuff all the time, regardless.
Definitely want to go cuddle Winnie the Pooh at Disney.
I recently went to my childhood home and I was like tidying out like my childhood bedroom, and I found all of these Winnie the Pooh toys, and for me I do associate the two, and they kind of freaked me out. And I was like, when I was younger I thought they were really cute, and this time I was looking at them like, maybe I can just put these at the back of my wardrobe, like we don't need to look at those again. Yeah, I had a little bit of PTSD, and I've got a feeling like if I went to Disneyland and I saw Pooh and he waved at me, I think I'd probably cry and run away. But that's just me.
So going into this film, I was just the idea of Winnie the Pooh being a serial killer was humorous to me. So I was going in with just that sort of thought. But after a few weeks of filming these guys, I haven't been able to look at Pooh the same since. And I think that's a compliment, and also just this Pooh is nothing like the one that we are familiar with, that's for sure.
Well, after being up close and personal with this Winnie the Pooh and version of Pooglet, and having what they did to me, which you'll see in the film, I can never look at them the same again. And to be honest, I just look at Winnie the Pooh as a killer now. The fluffy one, he's all gone. But yeah, like I said, when I told everyone that I was in the movie, and you say it's Winnie the Pooh, and it's not a comedy, it's a horror, they just can't get their head around it, so I think, yeah, it's going to be good.
Rápidamente, en resumen, Winnie está en todos lados, o sea, lo van a ver sí o sí, pero claramente siguen siendo dos Winnies muy diferentes, uno que es bonito y adorable y el otro es el asesino tremendo, pero sigue siendo Winnie the Pooh, son dos diferentes. Por acá tiene una hija de 3 años chiquita que ya vio el tráiler y logró identificar que tiene a Winnie malo y a Winnie bueno, le gustan los dos por algún motivo, ya vio el tráiler, no va a ver la película. Luego más allá, todos los juguetes de Winnie Pooh se fueron al closet, así ya no los puede ver igual. Daniel, por ejemplo, dice, no, ya después de tener tanto a Winnie como a Piglet cerca y después de lo que me hicieron, que verán en la película, ya no los puedo ver igual, nunca, jamás.
Es que es lo que les platicaba hace un momento que van a ver, porque Daniel definitivamente los efectos especiales y de maquillaje que tiene son impactantes, ¿no? Yo de verdad no la reconocí. Y algo que me gustaría compartirles es también acerca de las escenas de Christopher Robin, porque ellos hacen la película y después de que se viraliza tienen que hacer otros shoots para Christopher. Entonces I want to ask you guys about these reshoots that you have to do with Christopher after this viral stuff.
The reshoots were very intense, that being what was happening in the scenes and what was happening with the weather, all combined into one. But I could not be more grateful to be brought back for the reshoots, and just seeing where this film went and just the journey it's been through has just been amazing. And I could not be more grateful to be a part of this.
Bueno, los reshoots obviamente fueron muy intensos, no solamente por lo que hacía en la escena, sino también por el clima. Pero más que nada se siente totalmente agradecido también de que regresaran los reshoots y por todo el viaje fue increíble y es agradecimiento total.
Tenemos más preguntas. Bueno, ya por acá, no tienen.
Hola, de parte de Cine Casa. Quería preguntar por qué a Winnie the Pooh le dio por matar, porque bueno, hay otras películas que tratan sobre que los juguetes fueron abandonados o el personaje que era su dueño pues crece, los deja, los da a un lado, los dona o X razón pasa y ya no van a entrar en el mismo camino. Pero ¿por qué Winnie the Pooh decidió asesinar?
She wants to know why Winnie the Pooh starts to be a serial killer.
So yeah, with Winnie, we wanted something which was really contrasting. And you know, it was the character we thought the least amount of people would expect to become a serial killer. So and we had a way of thinking how he would look when he's like this 6 foot like monstrosity. You know, we've had a perfect mask for it. We kind of gave him like a massive gut, and it just worked so well. And yeah, then we just kind of ran with it from there. So.
But he does look better covered in blood, and we didn't realise that until the reshoots. So in the sequel, he's just going to be covered in blood because it looks really cool. Yeah.
Blood and mud.
Yeah.
Boys, I think they're asking why he turns into a serial killer.
Yeah. Oh,
like what's his origin? Yeah.
Ah. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a moment where Christopher Robin, when he was younger, he kind of like nurtured them, and he came across them, and he was like like helping them survive in the wilderness. And then he got to a certain age where he needed to move away and like carry on with the rest of his life and like go to college. And whilst he did that, it kind of created a scenario where the gang, like Pooh, Piglet, and all of them, needed to go back to their animalistic roots and become more feral and figure out how to like find food. And then Eeyore was the food.
Okay, pues realmente se vuelven asesinos porque cuando están chiquitos, cuando Christopher Robin también es niño, como que los ayuda y siempre está ahí con ellos. Pero llega un momento en el que crece, se va a la universidad y los deja solos. Entonces ellos tienen que regresar a su naturaleza y terminan volviéndose animales salvajes. Entonces
de ahí viene, ¿no? Un poco también lo que tú comentabas acerca de eso. Nos queda una pregunta por acá, me dicen que vamos.
Yes, hi. I'm Nicole Trejo from El Universal, and is this a question for the director?
Like, there's we've had a lot of that, and like online and like Instagram, I'm getting so much hate from people. They're like, how dare you do this? Like if a kid sees this, but the point of this film is no kid should see it. Like it's pretty brutal, so yeah. Don't watch it if you're too young.
It's for the people that have like, you love Winnie when you're little, and then you grow up a little bit, and then you want to see something a bit different and more adult. So it's for them people like us.
And it's a lot more unique
Yeah.
than just having like a serial killer in a mask, slashing people up.
Ok, pues prácticamente si no la quieren ver, que no la vean, porque no es para todos. O sea, en línea he recibido muchísimo odio de cómo es posible, cómo te atreves a hacerle esto a Winnie Pooh. Bueno, es que no es para niños, además no es para los niños y son cosas diferentes. A lo mejor hay gente que adoraba a Winnie Pooh de chiquitos, creció, le empiezan a gustar otras cosas y ahora tenemos esta versión que es además totalmente distinta.
Bueno, pues thank you for all the crew of Winnie Pooh, Miel y Sangre. Un aplauso, definitivamente. Muchísimas gracias. Y muchísimas gracias a ustedes, los medios que han estado aquí. Estoy segura que también con esta plática les quedaron algunas dudas, quieren más información. Recuerden que pueden estar con nosotros hoy a las 5:30 de la tarde que comienza el Red Carpet, la alfombra roja, en donde van a estar desfilando todas estas estrellas y muchos influencers y estrellas más de nuestro país para que ustedes los entrevisten sobre esto. Y bueno, que recuerden que esto va a estar en el Circuito Nacional de Cines. El estreno es este jueves y que es traída por Cinemex Presenta. Me imagino que quieren foto, ¿verdad? Que se junten. Can we get a little bit together? Yes, definitely.
Hello, nice to see you, hope you're well. Come and watch the film soon and I'll see you there.
Shout out to El Cuadro.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicola Leon. I am very excited that you guys are ready to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and go check out El Cuadro.